This video is to help in the door removal of the refrigerator on a Northern Lite truck camper. The model is the 811 EXLE, and the refrigerator is Dometic 973863 model. So I hope this helps. Good morning from the beautiful mountains of western North Carolina, located in the Pisgah National Forest. Today we're going to take a look at the Northern Lite 811 EXLE and what seems to be somewhat of a common problem with the Dometic refrigerator and the mirror door, where either hitting a bump or the door swinging open too far, or in this case we had a friend's box for a bicycle in the back and we think it may have wedged up against it. But today we're going to look at how to take this apart and replace it with something that might be a little more sustainable. So stay tuned. So the original thought was that we'd be able to pull off the top panel and slide this glass completely out, but it turns out it's at least 32, almost 33 inches, and that's not enough room once the door is open to slide it out from the top. So what we're going to have to do is completely remove the door, and we should be able to lay it flat, slide it out, replace it either with highly polished aluminum or one of the acrylic glass mirrors. Getting started with the door removal, you need something with a sharp blade or a very thin edge. In this case, I'm using a Leatherman free P4, and just get the blade up underneath there, just enough to pry off this cap. Once you do that, you'll have access to the 10mm bolt. Now just remove this pin. It'll turn and you shouldn't have any issue with it. The bottom one may turn as well, so you're going to have to move one in one direction, one in the other direction. And once this pin gets out, you can see what we're doing here. We'll be able to lift the door off. Once you get the pin unscrewed, it's nice to have like either a Leatherman or a set of pliers handy with you. The tools you're going to need to do this are going to be a Phillips head screwdriver, a Leatherman if you have it. So you can see here's the pin is pulled out. So at this point you have to be careful, because once you open your freezer door, this top not being secured by the hinge, it's going to pull apart. So make sure your freezer door's has food in it, and that you're prepared to pull this thing off. As you're getting ready to pull the freezer door off, make sure to reach up and grab this little nut that you had underneath the hinge. Store it over with your cap, and then you're just going to slowly open your freezer, get this away from the edge, lift up, and your freezer door comes off. So that's step one. Step two is to do something very similar with this bottom nut right here. So we're going to do the same thing. This has a little washer on top of it, so we're going to remove that. And then you're going to turn this bottom nut down to the refrigerator door and the top one up, and that should release this pin. And then we'll have a very similar procedure on getting this refrigerator door lifted up from the hinges. Once this pin has been released, you're going to have a very similar thing. You're going to have to capture your nut here on the bottom, store it away. Once this is pulled out, we'll be able to lift the door up. I've already removed the top panel. I'll talk about that here shortly. And some of you may have noticed that my handle on the refrigerator door is missing. I went ahead and pulled that out as well, thinking that I'd be able to pull the side panel off and get this broken mirror out, but no, you have to take the door off. All right, we're going to pull this pin and get the nut out of here, save it, and I believe there may be a little washer underneath there. I don't see one on this one. There's definitely one on the top. So we are going to pull the door out and it slides directly up, and we have removed the door. At this point, I've got the door removed. I used some foam, put on top of the table, and got a nice flat surface. And I used a couple of suction cups. I've removed the top panel, which comes off with a couple of clips, and removed the door handle. So this is actually the top area of the door right here. And I'm going to use the 2 suction cups to just pull this broken piece of glass completely out. So the glass is completely out. It's still in one piece with the safety backing on it. And now we're left with the door. And there's a little bit of silicone that was put down at the bottoms to hold it in place. And at first it felt like it was stuck, but everything came off pretty good. Now I'm going to measure it. I believe it's 1/8 of an inch thick. I'll get the dimensions on it, come back to you shortly, and then we'll have some follow-up videos once we replace this broken glass. So here is what your panel or your refrigerator door looks like without the panel. Kind of straightforward, just knowing the steps you have to go through. The measurement of this glass that broke was 1/8 inch thick. Using a micrometer, you can see it was 1/8 inch thick, and the dimensions were 22 1/8 by 32 11/16. So we're looking for either some polished metal or an acrylic mirror to go in, and that way we'll never have to worry about this problem again. So hope this helps.